Welcome into a Week 12 Giants Hangout. Madelyn Burke, Jonathan Casillas, Brandon London, and Matt Citak joining you. Giants Hangout presented by Crestron. We are here. It's Week 12. It's Thanksgiving week. So much to be thankful for, huh, Brandon?
Oh, absolutely. And if you're rocking one of these shirts right here, you're having yourself a Grey Cup parade. Shout out to the Montreal Alouettes for winning the for winning their Grey Cup. I won a Grey Cup up there. They got Austin Mack, former Giants receiver. Austin Mack's up there, had himself a heck of a year, heck of a season, and they continue to come down and grab guys from the Giants. So shout out to the Montreal Alouettes. That city, go Les Alouettes.
Look at this. We got Alouettes legend on the podcast right now. Shouting out the Alouettes. Matt, first of all, what a day for you to choose to join us.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't be happier. Congratulations.
Hey, how was Montreal? I'm sorry, sidetrack real quick. How was Montreal? Yes.
Look at my eyes. It was a good time, Jason. It was a good try. It was a
review the game, shall we? The Giants are back.
First word for those streets.
Giants are back in MetLife Stadium. Let's run it back. Let's focus here, fellas, because we got a game at home at MetLife Stadium. Giants Patriots. This is two teams that, you know, when you think of Giants Patriots, you think of these Super Bowl matchups, and it's the history between these two teams. And preseason. Yeah, that's what people think about. But you know, you got the 2-8 Patriots facing the 3-8 Giants. Both these teams performing not at the level that they would have hoped going into the season. Still a ball game nonetheless. Lots to look forward to. Tommy DeVito coming off a great game on Sunday on the road. The Giants have been on the road for 3 straight games. Patriots coming off of their bye. Giants playing their last game before the bye. Matt, I'm going to start with you on this one. When you look at the way that this game matches up, is there a player, a matchup, something that you're zeroing in on and saying, like, this is what I'm going to be watching on Sunday?
Well, I think the obvious is to see how Tommy DeVito does in his now 3rd NFL start. I mean, looking at what he did last week against the Washington Commanders, I mean, he was just downright impressive. Some of his numbers were not only great for just a quarterback, but made history. I mean, he had his passer rating 137.7, the highest passer rating of any undrafted rookie quarterback in NFL history, the highest passer rating of any Giants quarterback in the last year. I mean, what he did, you can't help but just applaud him. I mean, his numbers on 3rd down is the thing that stood out to me the most. He completed 7 of 8 of his passes, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns, and had a perfect 158.3 passer rating. This is a rookie quarterback that's going out there and doing that. This is right.
Tommy touchdowns.
But hold on, Matt.
For a reason.
Everybody, hold on real quick. Now let's throw it. All right, you had the chicken cutlet. You had your pasta. Now it's time to get back to game mode again. Don't hype him up too much because you're setting them up. I feel like everybody's trying to cling on to good quarterback play so much that they took 18 for 26. Yeah, he threw for 240 something, 3 touchdowns. Cool. But we got to talk about the sacks. Now it's time to talk about this guy getting better and taking that next step, JC, because when you talk about those sacks, those are balls. I'm okay with some of those sacks because his eyes were downfield. He was trying to give his guys a chance to make some plays or get open downfield. Now I want to see him actually throw that 50-50 ball. Where's that placement going to be? I want to see them get out of a pocket early to get a 4 to 6 yard scramble on 1st down to stay ahead of the chains. You want to see him be able to hit Saquon in the flats or Daniel Bellinger off some sort of chip as a check down. Now we want to see him progress and we can keep on with the hands and stuff like that. So now that week is done, JC, you know, you're looking at him like, all right, are you going to match what you did or are you going to take a step back? And you know, in New York, you take a step back, they're going to be on you just as fast as they were on you.
Absolutely. And what you're talking about is expectation, which we had none for Tommy DeVito in any of his starts prior to this game, because we didn't think he was going to ball like he did, and we weren't expecting that from him.
Life advice, the key to happiness is low expectations. You know, keep them low.
But now that he's bald, there is expectations. Yes. That stadium is going to be filled up, and they want to see what Tommy DeVito is going to do. The thing is, he's going against Bill Belichick and rookie quarterbacks. I'm not saying they don't stand a chance. There's a little bit of a chance. but Bill Belichick tortures rookie quarterbacks. So this is going to be the first game where Tommy DeVito actually has expectations, where I think his future is at stake. And I don't know if it was like that before, because if he can play well and find a way to get it done against the Patriots, he'll be only the 9th rookie quarterback to do it versus Bill Belichick in however many years, 30, 20, 30 years, however long it is. But more importantly, he's showing consistency from the quarterback position for the New York Giants.
Right.
And that's something that the Giants haven't shown this year. Last week was the first 4-quarter complimentary football game that they played. Of course, it had a lot to do with the defense taking 5 turnovers, 1 special team turnover. But I think good poise and pocket presence from him. Not pocket presence in terms of like getting the ball out, no, but just being confident in there, forgetting about the play that just happened, because the Giants weren't that great at all in the second half on first, second down. They were actually horrendous. It was a lot of third and longs. But Tommy DeVito played well. He was getting hit, and he never looked like he was rattled. He looked like he was poised. His intangibles is showing up big time for him because he's not a big guy.
Yeah.
He's not that fast. I don't think he has the best arm, but he can throw the ball because he has some velocity when he whips those in cutting routes and those routes that, more of a timing route. And he has some touch. We saw with Saquon in the end zone.
That was a good throw.
The little ding, the drop off to him too. The guy, intangibles, I think, is what's going to bode well for him moving forward.
Right.
And he has that moxie, he has that grit. And you know what? That inspires other guys to play at a higher level, guys that do have the tangibles like Saquon Barkley, like Andrew Thomas, and some other guys that are there.
Well, and you mentioned how much he was getting hit. I mean, 5 sacks in the first quarter is almost unheard of. Like, I mean, that's like something Patrick Mahomes does over the course of 10 weeks, 5 sacks in the first quarter, the fact that he still gets up, plays through it, plays tough, and plays with confidence. Something that we've seen. He's thrown at least a touchdown pass in every game he's played. Multiple passing touchdowns.
Amazing.
Multiple passing touchdowns in each of the 2 games he's started. And he's playing with confidence, and he's decisive. He's decisive in getting the ball in, like you mentioned, in those windows. And a lot of that too is you see his teammates. You see Saquon Barkley on the sideline hyping him up. You see his teammates believing in him. You see how kind of calm, cool, and steady hand he is, not just in the game, but in the post-game press conferences, and just kind of being a pro and being a mature professional about it. And I mean, it's got to be helpful, right? He doesn't have to worry about making his bed. He's got so much more time to think about, the game plan and all this other stuff. So I respect it. So shout out to Mama DeVito once again for holding it down for him. But, and we talk about the way that Tommy is, the way the rookie quarterback is. Another stat, though, that I don't even know if this is actually going to play in or if this is just one of those historic stats. But Bill Belichick coming off a bye 16-7 off of a bye week. I mean, does that matter when you've got an extra week of Bill Belichick preparing for you? You mentioned this, Casillas, how much, Bill Belichick against a rookie quarterback. Matt, like when you look at that stat, do you think like this is something that they got to really zero in on?
Yeah, I mean, those 2 stats that you guys mentioned were the 2 stats I was going to bring up. Belichick's record against rookie quarterbacks and his record coming off a bye. Looking at both of those, you would think that, that could spell trouble for Tommy, the whole entire offense. But, I mean, Tommy, what he showed us last week is that he belongs in the NFL, that the stage is not too big for him. He's not afraid to step up in the moment when the team needs him most. And, I mean, obviously, I think Tommy, the whole offense would prefer if Belichick did not have 2 full weeks to come up with a game plan to sort of slow him down and contain him. But I think the offense just needs to continue what it was doing last week against Washington and not worry so much about the game plan that Belichick's going to do. Because Belichick, the number one thing he does is he tries to take away the opponent's number one option in the offense, no matter who it is. So you have to think that he's going to be zeroing in on Saquon, which is going to allow Tommy some situations to really step up and show that he's the man who can carry the team when they need him to.
So this is the chance for that confidence to complement. We talked about 5 turnovers last game.
Bars.
We talked about 5 turnovers.
I don't know if you've been listening.
5-6 turnovers, but 31 points, JC, and the defense got a pick 6 at the end of the game. So you're talking about being able to play complementary football, and when you get those turnovers, turning them into points, some of those sacks took them out of field goal range or took them out of even gave them a shot to continue that drive and to score off of one of those turnovers. So you want to see him. So you want to see that step. And what that's going to do for my guy, as you asked us, who do we want to see? I think it's kind of like a small group of that second tier wide receiver on this team, the Wandells, the Isaiah Hodgins, the Daniel Bellingers, because now getting those guys the ball, that means you're getting the ball out quick. That means you're not letting a blitz affect you. You're not holding on to a ball, and you're making the right reads against a Bill Belichick defense that's going to be trying to take away Saquon, Darius Slayton in that sense. So I see that if he can take that next step, oh, you done went from the chicken sandwich commercial to now you're going to get the Airbnb, I stay at home with my mom commercial. JC, you know, it's money. People are looking for ways to throw somebody on this team money. Yeah. All you have to do is give Giants fans something positive to talk about for the rest of this year. You ain't gonna be at mama house much longer.
Yeah,
but you ain't gonna be at mama house.
He has to understand how to play quarterback. When I say that, he has to understand how to read defenses. He has to understand how to read progressions. The Giants will not create 6 turnovers again. They're not doing that again.
Don't have no in your heart.
24. I got you. I'm just saying, percentages wise, that's very, very low. But there's a chance.
There's a chance. It was all that
they do 50 on camera push-ups.
It's so uncommon for you to create that many turnovers. Right. 2 is good. 3 is a lot.
Turnovers with 6 while not coughing it up at all as well.
That's what I'm saying. Like the guy has some things about him that I think you can build off of. Now you got to teach him how to play quarterback, sit in a pocket, understand that he can throw the ball away. I don't know how many throwaways he had, but I haven't really seen too many of them. Good quarterbacks, you see them throwing the ball away. Mm-hmm. You also seeing them throwing rhythm checkdowns because you read through the progression and you throw the check down in your progression. And I want to see him to take a step forward because you can't rely on a defense creating that many turnovers every week, giving you short fields, giving you kind of, advantageous field position throughout the entire game. This is not happening. Right. He just capitalized on the defense's success, which is I can't take nothing away from him, but he has to progress moving forward. The great thing about it is offensive line has kind of finally started playing more intact. I know Evan Neal's kind of been in and out the lineup, but the left side of the line is pretty healthy. John Michael Smith's been there. Bredesen's been there. You starting to see some continuity and I think progression in their play, which not only will help Tommy DeVito in protecting him, but establishing a run game, which that is what's going to help Tommy DeVito is getting Saquon going, getting him the ball in creative ways, and not relying on Tommy DeVito's arm to beat the Patriots.
Well, and when you look at the way that the Patriots have been talking about this matchup, this week, and listening to the press conferences and the media availabilities from Patriots players, they know that Saquon Barkley is going to be the point of emphasis. They are zeroing in on Saquon Barkley, but that's the key. The opponent knows what you're going to do. You got to execute anyway. Yep. And you've got, these are the 2 offenses that struggle the most to score in the National Football League, to put it that way, like the bottom 2 offenses. And so when you talk about the defensive performance, the Giants defense has been such a strength of this team. Patriots give that defense a favorable matchup in a defense that can't really score so much. But when you are looking at the body of work as this New York Giants offense and putting them in that bottom tier of the NFL versus the recency of this New York Giants offense, and the recency of which, Saquon Barkley has been among the league leaders in the last 3-4 weeks, and the recency in which Tommy DeVito has been, getting some balls in the end zone. Brandon, when you look at the way that the 2 teams have been playing recently, does that affect your confidence in this matchup offensively?
No, I think these 2 teams are in the same weight class right now. I think I'll give the edge to the Giants defense because they've shown that they can be tougher and stronger, and they're healthier than the Patriots defense. But when you think offensively, they marry each other. They're 2 pretty much the same team. So I feel so confident in the Giants defense that the Giants offense is going to be able to, they're going to be able to punch out of their weight class per se and have the ability to have another big game. But I don't know, we're switching over to the defense, man. I want to throw it to you. I think the Giants defense creates havoc again, because when you don't respect, just think of what Wink Martindale in this defense, how they've gone after quarterbacks that we could sit back and be like, I'm picking that guy for fantasy because he's good. If you're not going to respect a Mac Jones or Zaley Bappy or one of those guys coming off.
Bailey Zappi.
Whatever.
Yeah, boom.
Whatever his name is.
The dude who did the fake spike and tried to throw it across the middle. Let's call him that. If I'm Xavier McKinney, if I'm Kayvon Thibodeau in double-digit sacks, if I'm Dexter Lawrence, it's lights. It's another, hey, let's rally together, play for each other type game. Because if we do that, we play together, we kind of have somewhat the same success as last week. We're back in Giants fans' good graces. We're back. We feel like we're back, and you walk with the swag around the locker room when you have that feeling, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, even looking back at last week's game, Washington was able to move the ball on the defense. I mean, the defense obviously came up huge with the 5 different turnovers, the 6th one coming on special teams, but Washington totaled over 400 yards of offense still. The defense just stepped up when the team needed it most and, came up with that big play, which we have seen them do in recent weeks. I mean, this was the 3rd, 4th, 5th game that the defense has had multiple takeaways in the last 6 weeks or so, after starting the season without a single takeaway in the first, I believe it was 4 games of the season. They've really stepped up. And I think the biggest member, the recent defensive success, and I think he might be honestly one of the most underrated players in the NFL, is Bobby Okereke.
Yeah.
He has been the most impactful addition that this team made this past offseason. The guy is a tackling machine. He's had double-digit tackles in 6 of the 11 games. He's tied for 5th in tackles in the NFL. He's been one of the best coverage linebackers in the league this season. 4 forced fumbles, career highs in tackles for loss. He's literally doing it all. He's all over the field on just about every single play. I do have to mention he missed practice on Wednesday, the first practice of the week. So that is something to keep an eye on to make sure that, he will be out there this weekend. But looking at the Patriots offense, I think it's fair to say that the strength of the offense is their run game between Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott. Having Bobby out there, being able to contain the run game and also cover those guys when they run out for passes, it's going to be a huge factor in the Giants picking up the win on Sunday.
Hey, JC,
Micah McFadden, right?
Yeah, he's been playing very well, especially in the second half, or not even second half. We're in the second half now. But after the first 3 or 4 games, he's really kind of, stepped up his play. Dexter Lawrence, Bobby Okereke. Go ahead, Brandon.
I got a question for you, JC, because, a lot of people had things to say about how Wink they're saying Wink threw X under the bus and the defense could be feeling some sort of way about that. But the fact that you see them move on from that and they come out and you see guys punching at the ball, Cordell Flott, a corner, Bobby Okereke punching at the ball, those aren't your traditional turnovers right there. I'm still doing individuals, like, how we wrapping guys up, that sort of thing. I'm applying that drill to the field. Does that mean that defense is still locked in with Wink and its leaders? Like that right there showed you what you needed to know to put that nonsense to bed?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think it was just like them punching at the ball. That I don't know, because I haven't really seen the consistency of them doing that. Mm-hmm. I've seen it happen. Bobby Okereke does a great job in finding the ball, but the consistency that they showed the other night of them going after the ball the whole game, and it usually, not to say it usually doesn't work, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. You see guys punching at the ball, they get dragged for like 5 yards.
Well, because that's the thing. Like, I remember talking to Jerome about this and saying, like, so many guys throughout the last several years were so focused on pushing the ball out instead of completing the tackle. And it's like, either you got to make the tackle or you got to cleanly punch the ball out. But if you're trying to do both at the same time, you're not doing either.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit of luck involved, but the intention was there. Mm-hmm. And that's what you saw. You saw the intent to take the ball away, which is, I mean, it's going to bode well for any team, but especially with the team that's struggling on offense, right? Last week, they created 6 turnovers. The Giants also scored 24 points off those turnovers. Mind you, the defense scored 7. right? They only had 31. Do the math. The defense basically scored at all points. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was basically all defense.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard to replicate that,
but
Madelyn.
it's complementary because
exactly
defense translating to offense, because there have been several games this season where we've seen the defense taking the ball away and then the offense not able to do anything about it. And this week, the offense was able to do something about it. Finally.
But the point I was trying to make earlier, Madelyn, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Was if you watch the Commanders scoring drives were like 12 plays, 2 12 plays and a 9-play drive, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So 2 they can sustain drives. They just ended up turning the ball over in the red zone. The Giants have to find the ability to extend drives and have long drives off of P and 10 from the 25 or 20-yard line.
Right.
They have to be able to do that and get points from that. They cannot rely on the defense every single game. Of course, they was able to do that last game.
Yeah.
But the defense can afford to not have dominant games. They can afford that. On this team, they can't. You know what I mean? Like every team, you know how it is, B.
Yep.
Every single team, every unit doesn't play well every single game.
Right.
You know, that you have a time where, okay, offense is struggling today, defense steps up in a major way. Defense is struggling today, offense scores 35 points, right? The Giants, literally, defense can't afford to do that, but they have to be on offense. They have to be able to establish drives, be, successful and convert, play great situational football. And that's where I want to see them take the next step, because we've seen signs of greatness on defense.
Yeah.
We've seen signs of them dominating teams. We've seen signs of them taking the ball away 6 times, creating turnovers, scoring on defense. But what we haven't seen is the consistency to put together long drives and score touchdowns or just get points out of that. And that's taking the next step forward, not just for Tommy DeVito, but for this offense. Because no matter who is playing quarterback, we haven't seen that happen this year at all.
We haven't, but if any week is going to happen, this is a favorable one. I mean, the Patriots are allowing nearly 24 points per game, 23rd in the NFL, and that's the most points per game in a season in Bill Belichick's Patriots tenure. So if that holds through the regular season, like he's never allowed that many points per game in a Belichick coach Patriots team. So this is a favorable week, and especially coming off of a win and heading into the bye, you'd think if the Giants can stack back-to-back wins heading into the bye, go into that week off with that get your body right kind of mentality, feeling on a high note, it's just going to be a good thing. What are you shaking your head at?
I feel like we're riding too much of a high right now, y'all. Like we're using words like we're using words.
Party has a pooper.
Yeah, bro.
Party has a pooper.
Hey, it's like that meme where I'm standing there in the corner, like I bet you they don't know. Like my hot take is gonna be negative. Nah.
Mildew based on.
I'm just saying we're using words like expectations and favorable matchups. This team can go down 10-0 easily on Sunday. That's what I want to see. Then I want to see, are they still punching at the ball? Then I want to still see the same confidence in the Tommy DeVito and all. Like I understand when we see this team when they're riding that high, but I want to make sure that this team still has that grit in them. They're still prepared and all for that grit, because again, we're talking about Bill Belichick run team. This thing can go either way. And I'm not trying to be the negative Nancy or anything, but it's still like, okay, let's all still stay locked in at the task at hand. And let's get, they got to get active, JC. Either way, they got to get active.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, we haven't seen what we saw from the Giants last week all year. I think that the Giants fans, I think they're real fans. They're not like the loyalist fans. When I say loyal, like they're going to show up no matter what, no matter how a team, they're not like that. They're real fans. They're going to cheer when you're good and they're going to boo you when you're bad. That's the Giants fans, clearly evident. That's just how the Giants fans are. They have something to finally cheer for. Coming off a win with a team looked good. A little leaky on defense. But
clean little something.
Creating 6 turnovers kind of mask all of that. And for me,
nice little contour.
They're stepping into MetLife, I think, with something to anticipate. The expectations, which were lowered drastically ever since that Sunday night football game week 1. Now the expectations are back again. Stuff. I'm just saying, because I had to do it myself. I was sitting here like, man, I think that I just gotta not expect too much from them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're trying to figure out excuses, but listen, the expectations are back.
Yeah.
And when you're a good team or when you play well, they have expectations. When you're not playing well and you're not a good team, you don't have expectations. So it's a good thing that finally that word is being used again, because it hasn't been used in a while, guys.
Well, and this is like, it's like Amani Toomer always says, you're only as good as your last 4 games, right? You know, you're like 4 games away from being here or there or whatever. And how quickly, I mean, you look at the Minnesota Vikings, how quickly the tides turned for them when they put together that winning streak, you know, and right. And you look at, you know, some other teams throughout the league that you can see, you know, the tides turning. So yes, getting a win like this with Tommy DeVito, with the way that this team has been dealing with injuries, it's been favorable. But if you stack some of these and you look at the matchups and you look at the schedule, yes, the Giants haven't even faced the Eagles yet. They've got 2 matchups with the Eagles in the last 3 weeks of the season. It's going to be a tough stretch regardless, but you still want to have a silver lining, especially on Thanksgiving week, Matt. I mean, we got to have things to be thankful for over here, right?
100%. I mean, the biggest thing that I've noticed this week is just it's positive vibes. You can sense that there are some positive vibes for the first time in a while. And I mean, we know how the season has gone up to this point. We know the record, it is what it is, but you still, as you guys mentioned, you still want to see the team put together some good performances, build some momentum, you know, closing out this season, heading into next year. You want to see some of your younger players really start stepping up and show that they can be big parts of this team next season and stuff. So, I mean, between Tommy DeVito, Saquon, like you like the way the team played. You want to see them keep it going for another week, heading into the bye week. They come back after the bye, Monday night game again at home against the Green Bay Packers, which on paper is another game that is winnable. Not saying they're going to win, but it is a winnable game. And, you know, pick up a win against New England, pick up a win against Green Bay, all of a sudden you have a 3-game winning streak. And again, you want to build on anything positive you can at this point of a season like this.
Matt, what's the biggest thing you're thankful for, Giants related? Go.
I am thankful, honestly, to be a part of this organization. I mean, I grew up 10 minutes away from here, been going to Giants games my entire life, and sort of a dream to be able to now work for the team. So I'm thankful for that every single day.
Same here.
You know, it's such a great organization, such a class organization. Brandon, you and I came in together in 2016. And it's just so much fun to be a part of. And, you know, win, lose, or draw.
Why are you telling my business like that, though?
Real ones know. Real ones know.
I like coming to this building, and it's so funny. Like, I played with, I think, 2 of the players, Pugh and Shepard. But I know the other guys, like, hey, man, just waving at them. But, like, I know everybody else in the building.
Yeah.
You know, like I know all the staff, all the people upstairs, all the people in the market, all the people in PR. I say hi to all the cleaning staff, of course, the trainers and everything. And they're so good people. Yeah. You know, there's so many great people here. Pearson being one of them. He just walked in. That's a guy, you know, we've been getting close the last 2 years, right?
Pearson giving us the wrap it up button.
And for me, very soon. For me, I'm definitely thankful for having the opportunity to speak. Every time I see Madelyn, hey, Ms. Burke, I get excited, and I always compliment her for
Ms. Burke like I'm a substitute teacher.
Not somebody's auntie out here.
No.
But I compliment her for the job that she's done, because I watched her come in and be young on this side of it.
You were still playing when we got here.
Yeah, I was still playing, and now I watch her now, and she ran her own show over there at Amazon. Yeah. She ran her own show over there. She throws us in, like, she does a phenomenal job, and I love working with her, with Paul, with you, with Matt. Like, I love being here, and that's what I'm thankful for the Giants to provide me with that after I finish playing football. You know, I've been retired 5 years, 6 years. 6 years.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. And for me to still being able to come in the building, and I'm not part of the team, but I'm part of the organization. Yeah. And that is a huge thing for me.
And we're part of this team. And I'm happy to be a part of this team and this squad, and get to hang out with y'all every Thursday. And, you know, to do this and to be able to have just like this camaraderie in this group and this, you know, wonderful, supportive, great group of people. And even Pearson, even when he's looking at us going like this, Tom, get in here.
Come on.
Thankful for all of you guys.
There you go.
Happy Thanksgiving from all of us to all of you. Brandon, what are you thankful for?
The cafeteria staff, man, that food is
Yeah.
A1. A1. I'm not even gonna lie. I walk out with to-go plates.
I'll be like, hey man, you got me? They was like, oh, JC, don't worry, I got you. I'll take care of you. They know what that means, B.
Is that bison?
We may or may not have had a chicken parm hero for lunch today in honor of our starting quarterback.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't check.
The passing paisano. What did they do with the vodka sauce? That's the question.
There's no vodka sauce. Not this time.
I got one question. We got a couple minutes left. I got one question to ask or kind of propose to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I expect Tommy DeVito to go out there. I don't think I expect him to do a 3-0 type of performance, 3 touchdowns and no interception type of performance, maybe 1 or 2. If he balls out and does something similar like he did last week, going into the bye week, who's the starting quarterback the following week?
You ride with the high hand.
Taylor comes back.
You ride with the high hand. You give it to Tommy DeVito, but only if he's taking that. He can go 2-1, but he has to take that step. You know, you have to see
put together drives and
the
look
offense.
like a competent quarterback, right? Yeah. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is a much tougher matchup against the Patriots defense than it was last week against Washington. If he goes out there and balls out again, I mean, he's going to give Dable something really to consider. The coaches said from the start they're going to put the best players out there and continue to try to win games. He thinks that is Tommy leading the offense, and that's going to be Tommy DeVito starting under center in Week 14.
But Tyrod beat the Commanders with Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I'll just throw that out there.
What a great problem to have, though. What a great problem to have is which of these talented quarterbacks are we going to start right there? That's what you want to see. That's the problem you want to have. And you can say, wow, it's funny. Funny how? Funny, well, kind of, no, sorry, that's Tommy DeVito. Goodfellas. On that note, we're going to call it because that is our episode for today. The Giants Hangout podcast presented by Crestron, a proud partner of the New York Football Giants. Giants Patriots, 1 p.m. Eastern at MetLife Stadium. You don't want to miss it. Come out, bring your ponchos if you're going to be coming because it might be raining on Sunday, like slight chance of precipitation. Deep sigh indeed. For Jonathan Casillas, Brandon London, Matt Citak, I'm Madelyn Burke. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.